Hey everyone, Cullen Haskins. I'm a director with the Unfranchised, member of the $1 Million Club, and just want to give you a couple of quick tips as you're expanding your unfranchised business. Trinity and I will always say to people that not all compensation plans are created equal. And so we're all about educating people on what some of the differences are if they have some prior experience or they have a lot of questions around it. So I'm going to share with you some tools that we use, but also share some different compensation plans really quickly here, just to give you a short education so that way you know 100% that you have the best business out there. And that's not based on hype, that's based on facts, that's based on math. And, as far as helping the masses, I'm not here to down any other companies, bash any other companies. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just all about education. Trinity and I never go out to poach anybody, meaning we're not targeting people in other companies to say, hey man, I want to recruit you out of your deal and our deal and this and that, because we feel like that from a karma standpoint and energy perspective, that is definitely not the right thing to do from an integrity perspective. However, we are all about education. So it'd be no different than if I was working for Bayer Pharmaceutical back in the day as a maintenance mechanic, which of course I that's what I did for a living. But then, another pharmaceutical company was seeking me out and saying, man, we hear you're a great maintenance guy and, we'd love you to come work for our company. And, if they were going to double my pay and cut my hours back to 10 and allow me to spend more time with my family, I'm definitely going to be listening. So it is about educating people, but it's not about targeting and stealing or going after somebody and saying, man, your business stinks, mine's way better than yours, you need to take your team and come work with us. Like, that is not the intention at all. However, it is about educating, it is about sharing facts. If somebody's coming at us to say, hey, what makes your business so incredible and so unique, and you keep saying it's the best, well, why is it the best? Is that based on hype or is that based on math? So with that being said, I'm going to share a couple of things with you guys here very, very quickly. And I get everything to cooperate here. So as everybody's aware in the picture here, this is our commission cycle. So one thing we get asked sometimes is, it's like, hey, oh, you're a binomial compensation plan, and, so are we. And so we're all the same. And of course, that is not true most of the time, based on some variables that their business puts into place that our business does not have. So as everybody's aware with ours, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but 12 and 12s, $300 check on the BV and IBB, it all works the same. But every time you hit a 1200, of course, we're going 300, 300, 300. And then you do 1400 more on each side and you get a $600 commission check. And so that's $1,500 in commissions when you do 5,000 up your left, 5,000 up your right for a 10,000 total. And then after we've been paid on the $1,500 in commissions, then it resets to zero and it starts looking for 12 and 12 again. And then it'll just keep going. It just keeps resetting and going and going and going. And then whatever you qualify for that week, and it could be 0 to 24, and you get the first 2 checks, right? So it'd be $600 commission week and so forth. Everybody pretty well understands our business system, from that perspective. But I want to show you also, so one of the other tools we may be using when we meet with someone on a quick appointment here will be this one. Let me see here if it's going to show that. I got to stop my share and then share again, I guess. So hold on one second. So it's this one. So it's a horizontal multi-level marketing one pager here with the vertical on here. Make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so on here, and this is a one pager that I can print. I can have it in my briefcase, in my folder, in my binder from going on an appointment. Doesn't mean I whip it out all the time. It just, who am I meeting with? Are they a business-minded person? Are they somebody maybe that says, hey, cut to the chase, Cullen. Can you just cut to the chase and explain to me what makes your business different from, the multi-level marketing model to this model? And then I can whip out this one pager and just kind of hit some bullet points on it. So that way I can break down on the multi-level how they're getting paid on levels and percentages, and it's in diminishing return, and most companies cut off after level 7. And some of our top earners within our organization are below 7 levels deep, which means if I was in that business, I would get paid nothing, or I would get paid maybe a 1% override or something. It's like a peanut, right? And that just wasn't worth it to us to continue to coach to the bottom. All of us are coaching to the bottom, and that's super exciting when we can all coach to the bottom and 100% of the volume is going to flow up. But it takes all of us building to the bottom and placing people to the bottom as we expand distribution. No different than if you were hired by a franchise to expand franchises for that franchise across the country, across the world. Your job title is expand our franchise into different markets. So it doesn't matter the kind of franchise it is, but that's your role with the company. Well, it's the same thing with the unfranchised. Your role, our role is to expand the unfranchised business. And of course, it's a virtual model that works with the internet and one-to-one marketing, leveraging the internet and people power. And we're all going to work as one team, one dream, or one team, everyone's dream, depending upon everybody's dreams maybe being a little bit different. And that's exactly what we do. And so we're showing how we can take this model on the horizontal side and we can flip it vertically. And that's why J.R. Ridinger invented and created the binomial compensation plan, the vertical strategy. So it was a team building strategy, infinitely deep. Doesn't matter who sponsors a person, 100% is going to flow up. And that's a beautiful model, you know, and you have to look at it from that perspective and bring some energy. I don't know if you've noticed, but I bring a lot of energy to the table. Why? Because, you know, people are buying you. People are buying us. They're buying the excitement. They're buying the energy. And so therefore it's up to us to bring the big energy, to be excited, to understand what some basic differences are. You don't have to understand every little detail, but you need to understand some basics. So here's another tool that you could use as well. And this is another print off, a one-pager again, that if somebody has some experience or they're like, well, I really kind of, you know, do understand a little bit of how I was paid in you know, the multi-level marketing company I was involved in, but from a compensation standpoint, what makes the binomial so unique, so different? And so this is a side-by-side comparison sheet that allows you to go, well, you know, number one is in most of those models, you're building 5 to 7 teams and you're building wide. And with our model, you're building 2, you know, and we're going, you know, infinitely deep. That one usually pays about 7 levels deep. And so you're always using some variables or some comparisons to say, they do this, we do this, they do this, we do this. And as you break down each line item on here, you guys, the wall begins to come down, because most, and some of the biggest ones down here is how much volume you need to do through your team to get to the money. I mean, 80,000 in volume to make 4 or 5,000, you're going to do the same 80,000 in volume to get paid 21 to 27,000. 30-day volume accrual, number 11, right? 30 days, or do you want 365 days? Which one is going to help the average Joe, Cullen Haskins, working in a factory to build a business to an ongoing income, to replace an income, cut your hours back to 10? You can leave your job if you choose to, but not if you don't choose to, you don't have to. But if you choose to leave, you choose to leave because you chose to. It's the most powerful word in the dictionary, which is choice. You get to choose whether you continue working because you love it, but now I've built a B plan that's equal to, if not greater than, what my job income is. So I have some more choices in my life. And so there's all kinds of differences here and add-ons to where, you know, again, I can pull out a one-pager, I can take out a pen and I can circle some things and I can highlight some things, but I go quick, you guys. It's all about energy. It's about making it fun, but letting them know that I know my stuff. Now, knowing your stuff and thinking I got to know everything is two different things. You need to know your stuff enough to get excited and like I'm sharing with you guys, is breaking down some basic differences in order to let them know that I do know some basics about our business. But I'm not saying, hey, I know some basics about our business. I said, here's what I do know. And we're just sharing with people is, hey, is it okay if I share with you some things I've learned? That may be your approach. And that's why I love that approach, because if I say, can I share some things I've learned? And they say, yes, I say, thank you. And I let it land, and then I just share some things I've learned. It's not about right or wrong or true or false. It's not about me beating them over the head and you know, into submission or anything like that, but it is about just education. See, And if we're educating people, you will automatically start leading to the right people, and the right people will say, wow, you're really excited, and it really does look like you have a great understanding of this. And that's exciting. Now, a few companies, guys, listen, thousands and thousands of companies have come and gone over Trinity and I, our last, even 20 years with the unfranchised. JR created this business system to last for a long time. See, most companies are coming and going because sometimes it's created based on like, hey, well, we're going to make our products too expensive on purpose. So everybody has to join our company to get the product at wholesale, but they couldn't retail it if they tried because it's too expensive. So there's really no retail margin built into that company. And so therefore everybody has to join that company. Well, from my perspective, that's a bad business model because we understand that maybe everyone isn't going to be out there expanding distribution or bringing on partners immediately. So we have to get our partners in the black, retail profit, products priced to sell at a retail margin to put money in your pocket. That should be, your retail profit should be covering your auto ship, right? Your personal consumption, which whether it's covering it or not, shouldn't, be a huge deal for you because you're using those products anyways. But wouldn't it be awesome to know that it's covering that? It's covered. Hey, I just went to a seminar. It covered my $30 ticket for that. I got Greensboro coming up. I've got Miami coming up. I've got my regional coming up. And that's covered through my retail profit. That should be your number one priority with our business system. Whenever someone says, well, you don't have to retail anything, I immediately, for me, ding, 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 like illegal, because we're not selling products to end consumers. Then does that sound like a legitimate business? Does that sound like something you really want to do? It doesn't matter. Well, it's brand new. I can get in at the top. And I always find it hilarious how the people are like, but I got in early. But I don't want it to be a pyramid. But I got in early. And I'm like, you're hilarious. If you don't want it to be a pyramid, then don't get into a pyramid scam where like you don't have to sell anything. You don't have to do anything. Just sit at home and wait for a bag of money to hit you in the head. And then all of a sudden you're going to make all this money. That's pie in the sky. See? So we're educating, guys. And so one of the companies that's newer and we're getting approached on a lot, Trinity and I, and I'm hearing some other people getting approached on, I just want to educate you guys on. It's a company that people are coming to as, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. And we've got one product. And that one product is a skin cream, and you put it on, and it's an HGH, and da-da-da-da, and that's all they're selling is one product. But man, people are excited because it's new, and I'm in early, and I'm at the top of this pyramid. All right, and that's the approach. And but it's the same. It's a binomial. Oh, it's the same. See, it's not but it's the same or it's better, and they're so excited. Look, let me set the record straight, and here's what happens. In this company, I'm going to show my screen here. In this company, I watched, here's an investigation. Somebody says, Colin, how do you figure this out? What I do is I will go look at the company and I'll go research. The number one place I'll go look is the Better Business Bureau. I want to see what the BBB is saying at this point. And sometimes they're too new, but in a lot of cases they've been around enough, a couple of months, 6 months, a year, and they've got a rating there. And a lot of companies that people are getting involved with have like an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. And I'm like, what? Did you do any research at all before you chose that company? So that may be a question you ask somebody. How many companies, can I ask a question? They say, sure. You say, how many companies did you evaluate before you chose that company? And what you'll find is a lot of people will say, ooh, that's a great question. None. Or they'll say 2, or, they barely looked at anything. And then they made this life-changing decision where me personally, 20 years ago, when I was looking at the unfranchised, I looked at everything. I looked at everything that was available to then narrow the list down to the top 10, then to the top 5, then to the top 1, in which vehicle was going to pay the most commissions based on less sales, which would require less people that we needed within the team to get to the biggest payout. And that was the unfranchised. So it wasn't all an emotional, I'm at the checkout line at the grocery store and I'm excited and you get started. It was a mathematical educated decision to say, if you do the best, you do the one that pays the most, you do the one that has more opportunity with multiple product lines that will never go anywhere. If all we had, you guys, back in the day was thermochrome, and then we have to get rid of thermochrome, then the whole company goes under. You realize that, right? And of course, our company didn't go under. Matter of fact, we kept climbing because we had multiple products. We positioned ourselves to not worry about losing that product and then going towards another product line, which of course was TLS. See, that's powerful. And that's what our leadership team, that's what our executive team brings to the table, because of all of the years of experience they have in what works and what doesn't work, and how do we keep this around for a long time, for generations to come, so it's willable. See, that's powerful stuff. So with this company, Better Business Bureau, and then the second thing I'll do is I'll pull up a YouTube video. I go to YouTube and I search it, and I just type in the name of the company. In this case, it's called New You Life, and I put in New You Life compensation plan, and I find a guy who's doing the presentation. And so as you can see in the picture here, it has his picture in the top right corner here, and he's giving the presentation. So the quickest path to coach and getting everything rocking. And then I take a screenshot of it, because then it's them sharing it. This isn't me making anything up. This is what they shared. Cutting to the chase. This is how we get paid. This is how it works. You can read all of this if you want, but what really boils down to is that they're getting paid 10% on the lesser volume leg. So 10% on the lower leg is the easiest way to look at it. And so what this guy is saying is, I need 254 associates, 127 associates on each side. That'll generate 17,780 group volume up that leg. And that's 1,778 in cycles for the month, which of course can be confusing. And then here's your commission check. And then, but then that gets you a car bonus, which we all understand. Listen, I don't have anything, companies want to do car bonuses, whatever. But the bottom line is, the behind the scenes of the car bonus is, it's usually a lease, and the lease goes into your name. And so you're responsible for that lease as if you just went out and leased that car. So if the money comes from the company, you take the money from the company and it pays for the lease. That's all you did. But if you quit that company, or you make change, you don't qualify and you don't hit the right level, then that money comes out of your pocket. Me personally, I didn't want a lease. I didn't want a car. I didn't want the company to pick the color of the car that I'm driving. I didn't want the company to give me a trip, no watch. I wanted the cash and let me get what I want. All right. So what this really boils down to, you guys, is you get paid 10% of the weaker leg. So minimum, if you think of it, to just do a comparison to our business model, right? 20,000 in volume. So you would need to do 10,000 up your left, 10,000 up your right. 10% of the weaker leg would be what? $1,000 in commissions is what you would receive. So keep it simple, guys. Do you want to do double the amount of sales through your team that you would need to do with our company to get paid $1,000 in commissions? Or do you want to do 5 and 5 with our company, all right, with 100% flowing up, in order to get paid $1,500 in commissions? Don't let anybody fool you. And if you're ever unsure, get with one of us, get with one of the leaders, and get out a calculator. That's all you got to do. In the end, guys, no one's ever brought a business to the table that was better. And this isn't even close. You have to do double, and it's actually more than double the volume to get to the same 1,500 in commissions, which requires what? A lot more people doing the sales in order to get there. So it's going to take you a lot longer. Or if you're a superstar, it could go faster, whatever. But it's math. No emotions attached. It's math. And then there's another company that, we got approached on recently, and it's a wine company. And again, a lot of these companies, you guys, these one-off companies, and they come out with a single product or service, they come and go, man. They come and go. And some people make millions, and the guys who start the company make millions. And then you know what they do? They start another company. And then everybody, new company. And that guy's got a proven record of, making millions with that company, with this last company. And so he must be great. And let me get in at the top again. And then you get top. And you might make some money. And then guess what? It goes away. And then what do you have to do? Go to the next company. And so do you want a job, or do you want the company that's got a proven track record here for a long time? So the last company I'm going to share with you guys, and I could go on and on and on with different companies, but the reality is that I'm teaching you how to do it, you guys. You got to go to YouTube. You got to click on their, what's the comp plan? What are we doing? Now, this company is a wine company, all right? And this wine company is Scout and Cellar. So Scout and Cellar. So this thing is new, brand new, actually. And it's just, people are, jumping in. It's wine. Trinity and I like wine. I'm sure maybe you like wine, but it's I like wine, but is it I have to have wine if my monthly budget is tight? No, people aren't going to order it. But if people have the money, of course, it's great. I like wine. All right. But in essence, with this company, this is, again, a slide from their presentation, and they're asking everybody to sell $200 worth of wine in personal sales per month. Bottle of wine is about $20 to $40. Okay. You must sell to become an associate manager, and you're starting to make some decent money. Decent money means like $100 here and there. Okay. You must sell $400. Okay. Which will give you a retail profit based on the percentage that you sold. That's kind of how they do it. And so as you break down this is where, a lot of people get confused, but you're making 6% on your level one. And so what they do is they say 70% is what we're getting off it, but really it's 3% of the 70% is what my commission actually is. So actually this person breaks it down all the way at the bottom here for you. So on level one, and some of this math, I'm telling you, it's super confusing, but you look at all these big numbers here and it turns into $50.40 is what it really boils down to. You made $48 from your personal sales that you made, okay? So you sold $400 in order to make $48. So do the math on that. Most of our products, you guys, are right around a 30% margin on what your cost versus what you're selling it. So do the math on $400 in sales to make $48, okay? What is that, about 10, 11% or whatever? So, it's 12%. They got it right here, actually, 12. So it's 12. So you want 12 or you want 30%. So already a big difference, but then you get into the team building side of this thing. And as you add up what's going on the team, and then as it goes down, then I got a diminishing return. So as people lead to people, I get less. So this company, again, is about building wide. And I get paid more on the people I'm building wide with. But what it boils down to is on the team, I got a commission of $8.40 on here. So level one, I got $50 because those are the people I led to. The people they led to, I got $8.40. So for a total takes my personal sales, which of course we know is the retail profit. See, this company combines it all into that. So you got personal sales, I got my front line, I got my second line, and then I received $106. So what happens with this company is every month, everything resets to zero. So every month you're starting over. So if you don't hit the amount of sales or your team don't hit the amount of sales that month, then, sorry, it reset to zero. With our companies, a 365-day accrual, because for the average person working part-time in the business system, 10 hours a week, can actually get that momentum rolling where a lot of people have a harder time in this model. Now, again, I'm not bashing anything. I'm just educating everybody on there are major differences, you guys, in the business models out there. So I went a little longer than I wanted to, but I hope that this will help everyone and just keeping things simple, knowing that you have the best business out there, bar none. And when you know that, expanding distribution, finding business partners is simple because you believe 100% that you not only have the cookie, as Bonnie Father would say, and as Elizabeth Weber would say, is you own the bakery, right? We have the business. So know that for sure, you guys. Go out there, lead with your heart, change people's lives, and make your business a ton of fun, and people will naturally be attracted to that. We'll see you guys at the top.